Hello there, fellow geeks and nerds. Welcome back to our video series on how to open a brick and mortar retail store for board games, role-playing games, and trading card games. In this video, we're going to talk about market research and how it can make or break the success of your store. This series is going to go over and cover a lot of fun videos and a lot of homework videos. It's going to feel like school at times, but school with the sexy social media teacher. I can't wait to get to tell you about how to build a community and run tournaments, but you need to spend your time on the fundamentals of business as well, because it's crucial and it'll kick your frickin' butt. If you like playing Magic the Gathering, you know you're going to spend a lot of time sorting, sleeving, and storing your cards. It's just part of it. But it's important to keep the game fun and deck building easy, because if you just chuck your cards in a bag, it's a nightmare. So let's get to market research. I know this might not interest you, but it's going to save you a lot of money. I one time opened a store in Redding, California, absolutely certain my store would be overrun by D&D players and Warhammer 40k players. So I went and built the strongest solid 4x8 wood tables, and we opened our door, and I found out we were immediately a hotspot for board games. Do you know how hard it is to play a board game around a 4x8 table that is waist height standing and chest height sitting? My customers were accommodating, but oh my gosh, if I could go back in time, I would have just bought dining room tables. We had virtually no Warhammer players in the 3 years I was open. I didn't even like board games. I do now, but I'm a D&D guy. But I had to pivot because of demand, and you know what could have saved me? You guessed it, market freaking research. That's why before you dive headfirst into opening your own game store, you need to know if there's an actual freaking market for it. You don't want to be the only one in town trying to sell a card game that no one wants to play anymore. Yu-Gi-Oh! You need to know what's popular and what people are actually willing to spend their hard-earned cash on. That's where market research comes in. You need to know who your target audience is, what games and products they're interested in, and what their spending habits are. For example, let's say you're thinking about opening a store that specializes in Dungeons and Dragons. You want to know how many people play D&D in your area, what kind of campaigns they're interested in, what kind of accessories they're looking for. Maybe they're really into dice sets or miniatures, or maybe they're looking for rare, out-of-date, out-of-print source books. Or maybe you want to focus on TCGs, like Pokemon, or Magic, or Yu-Gi-Oh! You want to know how many people in your area play those games, what kind of decks they're interested in, and what kind of special editions or rare cards they're willing to shell out for. And if board games are your thing, yeah, baby, you'll want to know what kind of games are popular in your area, whether people are more interested in party games or strategy games, and what kind of price point they're willing to pay. Is your crowd older, retired, and into European resource management games that are boring and worse than watching paint dry on a wall? But I love them. Or college-age students looking for endless rounds of Cards Against Humanity? Very different crowds, people. Very different crowds. I love European strategy games now. They're an acquired taste, but they're wonderful. The bottom line is you need to know your audience. And the good news is there are plenty of ways to do market research without spending a ton of money, if any at all. You can conduct surveys online or in person, ask for feedback on social media, attend gaming events, and talk to people in person. The good news is, if you've been in your area for a long time, you probably have a great idea to begin with. But still, call a distributor. Call several. Ask what their best-selling items are. Ask what most stores carry, and ask what they feel stores desperately need to carry to have an advantage. We'll get into that in our video talking about distributors later. Once you have a good idea of what your audience is looking for, you can start stocking your shelves with games and products they want. And don't be afraid to try new things and take risks. Small risks. You never know when a new game or product might become the next big thing. And a $100 investment could change that for you. Some games are big bubbles, like Keyforge. It might be a hot distraction for a minute, but a year down the road, it's no longer in print. And you have 8 booster boxes. We'll talk about that more in our video discussing inventory. So there you have it. Market freaking research is essential for the success of your game store, or you will pay for it dearly. And it doesn't have to be scary or expensive. Just take the time to get to know your audience and what they're looking for, and you will be well on your way to having a thriving shop. Thanks for watching. Join me in the next video where we'll be able to talk about finding the perfect location for your game store. And until then, happy gaming. And if you like these mugs, you can go buy them at DysonDragons.com. They're freaking amazing.